Okay, let us start. Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru-paramparam. Okay, so last time, I think some of you may have missed the last class. The video is put up with the recordings. Okay, to briefly sum up. What we saw last time was the 18th verse, Karmani akarmaya pashed, akarmani cha karmaya, sabuddhiman manisheshu sayuktaha krishna karma krat. Sabuddhiman manisheshu, this person is the wise man, wise person. Who is that? Karmani akarmaya pashed, in karma. Karmani, in karma. One who sees akarma. In action, one who sees non-action. How is that? As we saw last time, all actions. The mind desires something, your buddhi decides, yes, it's good for me, or I wanted, whatever. And through your body you function. So all your actions take place at the level of body, mind, buddhi. That's all. You are the one who's objectifying the whole thing. You are that consciousness that's seeing the whole thing. So I, the consciousness, which is limitlessness itself, cannot act, does not need to act. All actions happen in its presence. Like space cannot go for a walk, but all walking is done in space. Similarly, everything happens in me, the consciousness. I, the consciousness, is free from all action. Once you recognize this, therefore, akarma here is really speaking the word given for the Atma itself, not anything else. Therefore, who recognize that I am the self, the Atma, which does not do anything. Even though my body, mind and buddhi is involved in furious activities. Okay? Relating to a partner, having a feast, having a battle to fight. It doesn't matter. Whatever the activity is, I, the self, free from that. To recognize that right now when you are acting, you are not acting. Teaching, you are not teaching. Hearing, you are not hearing. Okay? That is called akarma. Atma Swarupaha akarma. And akarmani karmayaha. Okay? The second part. After pashed, akarmani cha karmayaha. The second akarma is what you colloquially, in the worldly sense, say not doing anything. Hey, I've done enough for today. Now I just want to chill out. Akarma. Here the guy is sitting down doing nothing. Akarma. The worldly sense of the word akarma. He says in that to see karma is there. Meaning what? The ahankara is there. The potential karta bhokta is there. Therefore the potential doer is there. Even then, he may be doing a lot of thinking, speculating, etc. Therefore, the second akarma is normal, worldly sense akarma, who sees the karta is there, karma is there. He doesn't know the truth. If he knows the truth, there is no karta, there is no karma there. There is no karta, there is no karma. Karma happens. Okay. It happens at the level of body, mind, etc. I say. Therefore, Sabuddhiman Manisheshu, among all the people, he is the Buddhiman. Not only the Buddhiman, Krishna Karma Krat. He has achieved all that is to be there in life. All that is to be done, he has already achieved. This, in a nutshell, is what we did last time. Okay? In a nutshell, this is what we did last time. Okay? And a couple of questions have come, which I'll clarify as we go ahead. You see? Going ahead, he says, Yasya sarve samarambhaha कर्म संकल्प वर्जिता ज्ञानाग्नि दग्ध कर्माणम तमाहु पंडिता बुधा. The wise Buddha called this person a pandita. Who's a pandita? One who has got panda. Panda means jnanam. Okay, it's unfortunate that pandas that you meet in North India have got no knowledge. Okay, they're only ritualistic, if at all. In fact, they only went to harass the pilgrim tourists and get some money out of them. That's unfortunate. But panda really meant knowledge. Therefore, one who's got knowledge is called pandita. Okay, who? Yasya sarve samaramba. All his actions, all his activities. When he begins and initiates a new action, jnana kama sankalpa varjita. Free from that sankalpa, their will is free from that kama. Because you rarely find wise person sitting down doing nothing. They are doing a lot of things. But that means desires, because all the actions spring from desires. So here we have to look at it as desires of two types. One which is binding desires and the other which is non-binding. Binding desires, everyone know, I want it in my way. I can't be happy without it. That's a binding desire. Without their object of desire, whatever it is, I can't be happy. That's a binding desire. What's a non-binding desire? A non-binding desire is you're sitting down. You feel like it happens to all of us. You decided to go for a bath, for a shower. As you removed your clothes, you dropped all your inhibitions, turned the shower on, and you're singing a song. What are you singing the song about? Is it to become happy? Is it to please somebody? Nothing. You just felt like singing, you sang. In fact, it comes out of the happiness, out of some sort of happiness that you are experiencing. From there it comes. Therefore, the desire to sing in that shower, non-binding. Why non-binding? Because you are singing in the shower. And from outside the door, your wife yells out to you, I'm attending Swamiji's class, please keep quiet. So, okay, fine, she's attending. You keep quiet, you stop singing. Does it affect you? If it affects you, then there is karma involved, okay? Okay, Baba. Felt like singing, I sang. You're disturbing somebody else, I stopped. It doesn't matter. Such type of desires are called non-binding in nature. The wise person has reduced the whole world into this. All desires non-binding. Or maybe responding to a need in the society. People are really suffering. There is need for this knowledge. All right, Baba. Start a class. Start a class. Okay. That's it. Yeah. So that people can teach. Don't teach. Doesn't matter. Yeah. People are not interested. Forget it. Don't teach. You are not affected by that. By that, there is no karma there. The karma that is looks like there is a desire because you are doing something. But that desire is purely non-binding. Completely non-binding in nature. It does not affect you in any way. Binding desires are different. That's what we normally have. An ordinary person has lot of desires which are binding in nature. The fulfillment of which will make him happy. The fulfillment will make him unhappy. A wise person is not like that. You are already Ananda. And after this Ananda, you may have a non-binding desire coming up because the mind can desire. It is you're free to desire. You're free to desire. The desire is not coming out of any need. It is coming out of your freedom. This is non-binding in nature. Okay? And काम संकल्प वर्जिता ज्ञानाग्नि दग्ध कर्माणा. Jnanagni dagdha karmana. There's a question also that has come with respect to this. The karma of a wise person. Okay. So let us look into this. All of us, the jiva, has a few karma in our account. In fact, 3 karmas. Broad categorization. You are born in ignorance. Ignorance is responsible for your birth. Ignorance has no beginning. So when did your birth start? Immemorial times. And in these times, from beginningless time onwards, you are being born and dying and born, dying, going on. So all the births need not be human. Let us say every 100th birth was a human. For argument's sake. Alright. So countless divided by 100 is what? Still countless. So you had countless human births. In all these human births, you have done karma, you are accountable for them. Punya, papa, etc. comes. Karma phala is there. Why? Because freedom of choice is there. If freedom of choice is not there, they cannot hold you accountable. But because freedom of choice is there in a human birth, you are held accountable. Therefore, karma phala. It is not that everything that you do now goes to next birth. Most of the karma phalam comes here only. Okay? You ate food, you have satisfied. Karma phalam. You exercised, you lost weight. Karma phalam. It's all immediate. Okay? Immediate. You applied for the job and got it. Karma phalam. Right here. Therefore, 80%, 90% is right here only. 10% goes into the future. Long term. Those long term phalam go into the future. Either after your death immediately or long term future. So 10% of the karmas over lifetimes you have accumulated. You are very rich in terms of karma phala. This whole body of karma phala standing in your account is called sanchita karma. Because the word karma is used for both karma that you are doing and karma phalam, both it is used for. Here it is used with respect to karma phalam. So the sanchita karma is standing in your account, huge. We are all very rich. You are very rich people. In our account there is a lot of sanchita karma. Out of this sanchita karma, a small aspect matures out. Small part matures out. To give you this lifetime. To give you this lifetime. Okay? So how did I get this life, this parentage, etc., this body, etc.? By the karma that is matured out. We call that prarabdha, prarabdham. It started maturing just before your body was born. Before you are born. So your parentage, what type of experience you are going to meet, your body, etc., the nature of the body and mind, all this is prarabdha. How you are going to respond to the situations in your life, etc., is purushartha, your freedom of choice. That's called purushartha, your freedom of choice. Okay? So there is this modern thinking that you choose your parent, you choose your birth, etc. Nothing. Your karma chooses it. You don't have a choice. You have to go according to your karma only. Karma phala that is matured, you have to go with it. Yeah, you don't have a choice of choosing. Now, if there is a condition, a state where your karma phala can mature out and give you the experiences in 2 different places with 2 different parents, then probably you have a choice between one of them. That much you may have. Not more than that. Not more than that. Why? Because you are bound by your karma. Yeah. Otherwise, you really think anyone will choose to be born blind? Or born with some birth defect? It's all karma phala coming into picture. Karma not only of the child, also of the parents and the people around, the caregivers. It's all karma phala. Okay? Karma, karma phala. So don't blame your parents. Your karma phala gave you them. Don't blame your children either, okay? Karma phala gave you them. Okay. So this is called prarabdha karma. That gives me this birth. Then in this lifetime also I am doing a lot of karma. I am doing karma in this lifetime. I am not sitting down doing nothing. 80% right here. 10-20% may go into the future. That what is going to come to me in the future, this life or hereafter, is called agami. Yet to come. That's coming, but it's in the pipeline, yet to come. 3 karmas. After your death, the agami will go and join with your sanchita. Right now it remains as agami. Now what does knowledge destroy? He says, jnanagni dagdha karmanam. What does knowledge destroy? All 3 he says. It is like this. Here is a Muslim gentleman, and under the law of the land, in 1984 he marries this girl. In 1996 he has a second wife. 2004 he picks up a third wife. The law allows it. He picks up. 2010 he expires. He moves on. Who's the first widow? He said that 96 is first widow, 84 is first widow. All 3 at one stroke. No? Similarly, the 3 karmas are standing in my account as karta bhokta, as the doer, the jiva. Karta bhokta, the ahankara, is standing in my account. That karta bhokta is negated by this knowledge. I am no more karta bhokta. I am Sachidananda Sarupaha. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman Aham Asmi. All karma is gone. But then the jnani should drop down dead, na? That's what causes the confusion. The jnani, if jnani is going to drop down dead, nobody will want to come to me and learn Vedanta. They'll say, Swamiji, tell me everything except Tattvamasi. That I am pure, limitless consciousness. Everything else you tell me. What else is there to tell? Plus there will be no teachers. Why? Wise person means dead, gone, disappeared. Poof. No, that's not happens. Because the jnani's body and mind is sustained by prarabdha karma, and the prarabdha karma is still there, it looks as though the jnani is going through his prarabdha. Apparent, not really. He can put a stop to it like this. I know many people who have put a stop to their bodies like that. You mean to say they committed suicide? Yeah. It's not called suicide. Jala Samadhi. The famous Ram Tirtha did that. After some time he decided, what is the point? I had done everything, I have achieved everything. So he walked into the Ganga near Uttarkashi. Yeah. I know the place. Where he just walked into the Ganga. Enough. You mean to say he'll get another birth, etc.? Of course not. Mithya. What happens to all the karma? Ishvara's. It's Ishvara's headache, not yours. So don't worry. It's not headache for him. He uses it as a basis for the next kalpa. Yeah. For infrastructure. That goes in for the infrastructure work. Okay. So this is what happens. So it looks like the jnani is enjoying the karma. Why did the jnani get a heart attack? Prarabdha. He also goes through Sadhe Sati. But happily, okay? Happily goes through it. Yeah. Prarabdha. Some jnanis are popular. Why? Prarabdha. Some are not. Why? Prarabdha. Jnani is not bothered by it. Why? Anando. What does it matter? What does it matter? Ananda is very popular anyway. Everyone wants to be happy, no? So, this is what Jnanagni Dagdha Karma. The Jnani's karma completely burnt up. Purushartha also, really speaking, is not there. It's only apparently there. No? My effort now is only apparent. Why? Karmani akarmaya pashyet. Therefore, there are some mithya things happening. Some mithya experiences to go through. No problems. Yeah. It is not that the jnani stops experiencing. Just because mithya doesn't mean fire is going to turn cold for the jnani. No. It's going to be hot only. Thank God. How will the jnani make a cup of tea? Like how I am going to make after the class? Therefore, all the experiences continue. But jnanakti dagdha karmana. Such a mark of a wise person, he says. The other wise people recognize that and say, that's why he says, Buddhaha panditamiti ahu. The other wise people take them, other wise people take him to be also one of them as Panditaha. Okay. Now, this Jnani's lifestyle can be described in terms of two lifestyles. Let us say this Jnani was a Karma Yogi and he gained knowledge and he continued in that lifestyle. What will his lifetime be? Or another person who was a sannyasi gained the lifetime and continued in that life. How will that be? Okay. Let us look that Krishna says in the next few verses. Tyaktva karma phala sangam nitya tripta nirashrayah karmani abhipravartopi naiva kinchat karoti saha. Tyaktva karma phala sangam is sangaha, dependency on karma phalam. Tyaktva, given up. The karma phala cannot make me happy or unhappy. I am Ananda Swarupa. Therefore, jnanena tyaktva. This is different from a karma yogi. Different from a karma yogi. A karma yogi has phala sangam. He wants that karma phalam to become happy or unhappier. He becomes happy only if he gets it. But he is willing to accept it with prasada buddhi. Therefore, there is a balance in his life. Jnanis is here, it's a jnani. There is no need for prasada buddhi itself. Prasada buddhi may be there as alankara, as ornament for him. But not a need. Why? I am Ananda. Why? I don't need that to become happy. I don't need that. Why are you doing karma then? Part of the game. Part of the game. I am a householder. I'll relate to my wife, of course. Happy family life. Children are there. I'll take care of them. But do I need them to become happy? No. Of course, if any of you become wise like that, don't tell your partner this, okay? Problem ho jayega. Your marriage will go for a toss. Tyaktva karma phala sangam nitya triptaha. Because he's always happy, fulfilled as a person. Nitya triptaha. Why? Atma is nitya. Ananda is nitya. You know that. Therefore, nitya triptaha. Nitya triptaha. Nirashrayaha. You don't depend on anything for your happiness. Some practical dependencies will be there, of course, naturally. You are dependent on the railway system, which is not functioning now for us, or on the buses. That type of dependency will be there, but nothing more than that. Practical things. But for the sake of happiness, nothing. Okay, nitya triptaha, nirashaya, karmani abhipravartopi, even though he is engaged in action. Naiva kinchit karoti saha, he doesn't do anything. He doesn't do anything. Why? Akarma. Aham akarta abhokta. This is very clear. If that is clear, what is it that you are doing? Nothing. Nothing. Even though you are living a karma yogi's lifestyle. Previously you are a karma yogi. The lifestyle of being of what we call as pravrti goes on. But you are free. Even if you are doing a lot of things. Okay? A job, a business, putting up an industry, relating to your wife and children and this and that, whatever. Relating to your husband and kids and things like that. That's fine. Taking care of home as well, superwoman. But jnanam naiva kinchit karomi. That is the knowledge. Okay. Karmani abhipravurti na kinchit karoti. Okay. Then in the next verse, he is describing what happens to the sannyasi lifestyle. Same mindset. Nirashi yatha chittatma tyakta sarva parigraha shariram kevalam karma kurvanna apnoti kilbisham निराशी नो आशा छोटी सी आशा भी नहीं है छोटी सी आशा इज वेरी पॉपुलर सॉन्ग नाइस मूवी निराशी and if there are some desires it is non binding in nature remember समझिए क्या पिएगा चाय पिएगा कॉफी पिएगा दूध पिएगा if you is a Punjaban महात्मा फ्रॉम पंजाब फ्रॉम रूरल पंजाब मिलता है जब दूध पी सकता है तो चाय कॉफी क्यों लेने का ओके इफ इज फ्रॉम गुजरात महाराष्ट्र एक्सेट्रा हाँ चाय पी लेगा मुंबई कर चाय पी लेगा साउथ इंडियन कॉफी इज देयर एनीथिंग टू बीट अ नाइस कॉफी नॉन बाइंडिंग डिजायर and just imagine the person who asked that was a Gujarati lady. Now I've seen Gujaratis are great cooks, okay, but this particular lady did not know how to make coffee, so she made coffee like how she makes her chai with masala and all in it. I know the South Indians here are horrified at that. And you get that. It's a good drink. It's not kapi, but it's a good drink. Why? Nirashi. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You can enjoy it. Why? Because you got it. If you're a purist, you can't enjoy it. Okay? देखो कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता. Nirashi. Yata chittatma. You have done a lot of effort to master your mind. So now that's a given for you. Mastery of the mind is a given. Why? Mastery of the mind given means this knowledge is flowing through in your life. It's a given. You and the knowledge are not separate. It's a given for you. Tyaktva sarva parigraha. All things that hold you, you are given up. Job, house, this, that, wife, family. Tyaktva. Babaji ban gaya. Tyaktva. That's why I said sannyasi lifestyle. Sarva parigraha tyaktva. Nothing to hold you. Yeah. Nothing to keep you down. Okay. Then he says, gone to Rishikesh. Will you be doing something? Yes. Shariram kevalam karma. He does some things. Why? To keep the body going. That's all he does. Morning and evening he'll go to the kshetra. 2 meals a day. Intermittent fasting. Okay. Not intermittent fasting. That's all that is available. Morning meal at 11 o'clock. Evening meal at 6 o'clock. In between, Ganga Jal hai. That's all the karma he is doing. And contemplating on what it is. That's all. Kurvan na apnoti kilbisham. Even if he is leading a life and given up all his karma, etc., na kilbisham apnoti, na papam apnoti. He will not get into any sin of omission. Why? He gave up his family and all and walked out. Yes. And what did he walk out for? Knowing the truth is allowed in the Shastra. The same Shastra that talks about Punya Papa gives the permission for someone to do that. Swamiji, then will you give sannyasa to my husband? The kids are small. No, I won't give. Don't worry. Don't worry. Why? If you have taken on something, finish it before you come. If you have taken on some karma, finish it before you come. That's the general policy that all gurus will follow. Okay? Yeah, if someone comes and asks you for sannyasa, first, of course, whether he has led a competent life, you will examine. Second, has he studied for some time? Enough to say, I have this knowledge. Then, what are the responsibilities left? Yeah, if there are some, a little bit here and there, take care of it. Take care of it. It doesn't make a difference to you. Your life, your knowledge doesn't depend upon your sannyasa. Like I remember, 78 end, I landed up in Rishikesh. A long time I was there. Okay. I studied under some of the greatest teachers available at that time. Okay. Harihara Tirthaji, for example. Whole of Rishikesh respected that man. Another great person, Swami Tarananda Giri, my guru's guru. And in between, whenever Puja Swamiji was in this thing, from Puja Swamiji himself, I studied. Happy life. Bhiksha, Bhikshatanam, go for Bhiksha morning, evening. Yes. Yes. Then 83 he called me, somewhere 83, yeah. Said, I want you to teach. I said, yes, Swamiji, this new batch of students are come here. They had done their course. They want to study some of the higher texts, but they would prefer to study it from me than from any other Hindi speaking Mahatma. I was waiting to ask permission from you before I can. Yeah, teach them. I said, good. They started teaching. Then he asked, what about sannyasa? What about the robes? Swamiji, right now. If you want me to take the robes, right now I am ready. This moment, I'll check off my clothes and wear saffron. Right now, in front of you. Or you want to do it properly by calling a priest, etc. Right there. Today, I am ready. Then he thought for some time. Said, yeah, but you are the single son. I said, yes, sir. You told your father that you will do his last rites. The first ceremony you will do. I said, yes. All right. So let's do after that. So I waited. One day at a time I was living. I came to Bombay, started teaching everything I was doing. I was leading a sannyasi lifestyle. But I was there for my parents as well. Why? Responsibilities have to be done, no? I mean, not to go for a wedding and things like that. That I go, not that I don't go for wedding, but only where I want to go. Not because the relatives you have to go. That is not binding for me. No. That's not binding. But for medical emergencies, etc., I was there. Those type of things I was there. That type of care I was giving all through. When my father expired, okay, when Swamiji said, okay, next Shivratri sannyasa, I said, yes, fine. Didn't make a difference. Because your knowledge is not lifestyle dependent. Yes, sannyasa is fast track. Karma yoga is slow, scenic route. But either lifestyle can give you knowledge. Either lifestyle can give you knowledge. And for me, I was leading a sannyasi lifestyle. The only thing is I didn't have the saffron robes. That's all. That's all. But it does not give you any papa. Just because you walked out. Just because you walked out. Let us say you are in a relationship and you spoke to the girl and called it quits. There's no papa there involved. It's like any breakup of a relationship. Yeah. Children, etc., then it's your responsibility. Why? Because you have to see that they grow up. You need that. Swamiji, my child is only 10. Wait 10 years. Let him graduate and be able to take care of himself. Then you can walk out. But Swamiji doesn't need me. I have enough money. He needs a father figure. Especially turbulent teenage years. Even if he is going to rebel against you, he needs somebody to rebel. So be there. Be there. And if you don't require a job for money, etc., spend more and more time with the teacher, with the learning. That's okay. But be there. Because that responsibility of being a father figure is there. Prepare your wife for it. I have seen some people doing it like that. One of my batchmates, one of my Guru Bhais did it. Yeah, he was a married man. In 20 years he continued in this, after studying also, until his wife was okay enough to say, yes, please go ahead. You have been waiting for a long time. I held you back for this life. Okay. Go ahead now. That great lady. More than the guy, I respect the lady. Okay, great lady to be able to say that. Yeah. So all this is part of that. But na apnoti kilbisham, there is no papa karma involved. There is no sin of omission involved in this. Okay. Then another verse, continuing the idea. This can be taken for a karma yogi also, but predominantly sannyasa. Okay. Yadircha labha santushtaha dvandvatito vimatsaraha samasiddhau asiddhau cha कृत्वा न बध्यते कृत्वापि न बध्यते यदृच्छालाभसन्तुष्टः. One is happy, but by what comes by chance. That's a sannyasi's life, because you are not working for anything. So, what is yadricha labha? You are going for bhiksha, and as going for bhiksha on the road, you pass an ashram. You are known in that ashram. So, the kotari of the ashram runs out. Maharaji, we forgot to send you an invitation. There is a Bhandara here. Bhandara means a feast for sadhus, okay? All sadhus are invited. Will you please join us even though it's the last minute? Kya farak? You are going for dal roti. You are getting a feast with laddus and puris and sweets and this and sabji and dal and everything. Oh wow. Acha. Yadricha labha. Today was good. Next day you went to the kshetra. Kshetra is closed. Why? One of the office bearers died. Therefore, kshetra is closed today. Yadricha labha, aaj Ekadashi manayega. Today is Ekadashi for you. Why? Fasting. No food. Unless you want to experience the joy of Madhukari Bhiksha, going from house to house, saying Bhavati Bhiksham Dehi. Someone will give you. Someone will slam the door into your face, like, हाँ से आया गद्दे लोग. यदृच्छा लाभः. यदृच्छा लाभ संतुष्टः. Whatever comes by chance, by prarabdha, what comes, you are happy with that. Yadricha labha santushtaha. Dandvatitaha. No more duality for you. There is only one consciousness that is there. You and Ishvara are one and the same. One consciousness. Ishvara may be totality and you may be individual. There is a difference at the level of the body, mind, etc. As one consciousness, that's all that is there. Dandvatitaha. Vimatsaraha. What are you? Vimatsara means free from all competition, jealousy, etc. Whom are you competing against? In fact, that's one highlight of a sannyasi's life. You are not a competitor. You are not competing for goals, resources, etc. with anyone else. No. Vimatsara. You have nothing to compete with anyone. Yeah. Because you have already achieved all that is there to be achieved. For Vimatsara. Samasiddhau asiddhau cha. The same whether you achieve something or you don't achieve something. You decided. So many people are been studying with me for so long. Many of them want to study full time with me. Chalo theek hai, ek ashram laga dega. You spoke to a few people and the ashram came up. Wow. Siddhi. You are the same. Are you more happy? You are glad that people you can help more people, but nothing beyond that. Ananda you always were. Asiddhi, nobody is coming to support you. Nobody is interested in supporting. Bombay Baba, they are all busy with their own lives. All the funds are going for CSR projects, not for you. Today even CSR is not available. All of them has gone for COVID activities. Okay. Asiddhi. ठीक है. The prarabdha people, they don't deserve me as a full-time teacher. Maybe somebody else, ashram, they can go and study. Same. Samaha. Siddha, siddha. You advertise for a class. Nobody turned up. Asiddhi. You take it in your stride. ठीक है. अच्छा ही. One evening free. Okay. Samasiddho, siddho cha. Kritvapi na nibadhyate. That person doing these type of small activities, na nibadhyate, he is not bound by it at all. So look at it. The whole idea is the freedom that you enjoy. Okay, the freedom that you enjoy when you discover you are nothing but Ananda. You are not tied down by anything. Nothing ties you down. Nothing binds you. Your freedom is not impacted by anything. Anando. Things work out, things don't work out. A karma yogi has certain balance when things do work out or don't work out. Why? Because of prasada buddhi, etc. The sannyasi has it in full measure. Things work out, don't work out. You are Ananda. You're Krishna Karma Krit. You have done all that is to be done in life. What are you here for anyway? To know yourself. First to grow as a person, to grow. So your mind is capable of knowing what you really are and putting that knowledge into your life, rooting in that knowledge. That's all you're meant for. And once you have done that, life is great fun. You are living your remaining life, whatever, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, whatever is there, depends on how well you got established or how early you got established in your knowledge. You are living a life like that. Yeah. Can't be better. In fact, I can't think of any other way to live a life. Without this knowledge, I can't think of living. I got involved in the search for this knowledge long back. 35 years I've been teaching in Bombay. I started early. Okay. Yeah. Therefore, you live in this knowledge, you live in your freedom, you share it with people you want. If you are living a sannyasi lifestyle, if you are a karma yogi lifestyle, you may share it with a few less people. That's all. Because you family ties, family calls, etc. You may be able to take only 1 or 2 class in a week. As sannyasi, you can do more. That's the only difference. As far as helping people are concerned, you may decide not to do anything. You may decide to be a Mauni Baba. I will show people you can be happy doing nothing. I'll talk about that later also. Yeah, that's another way. Or you can decide, like Tapovan Maharaj, to be in Rishikesh. He never came below Rishikesh once he went into the Himalayas. Winter he would come up to Rishikesh. Rishikesh is cold in winter, but not as cold as Gangotri or something. Therefore, up to there he will come. Those who came to him, he will teach. No reaching out program, no awareness building, etc. Nothing. You can choose to be like that. His own student, Swami Chinmayananji, Gurudev as we used to call him, decided to come down and help people. To each his own. You live according to Yathak Jnanam, your knowledge and your talents you have, accordingly you will live. Your Ananda. You live in that understanding your Ananda. Think about it. There are some nuances which he also deals with in the next class, which we will see next class. Okay. Om Tat Sat. Good place to stop.